Hello guys, it's us again from Time to Invest. I just wanted to bring to everyone's attention what's happening with the economy at the moment. My last video was a little bit of I didn't go in specific about when this crash might happen, but I've been doing a little bit of more research and I've come to a conclusion that the 2016 this year, it looks like definitely we're going to have a collapse. And I think there's really nothing that the Fed can do about it. Now, I'm going by graphics, I'm going by what other investors and advisors are saying. What I do is I just check, do a couple of research and different advisors, different investors, people that are moving like billions of dollars, a day. And so they come to a conclusion that, yeah, this year, we will have the collapse this year. And the Fed is a little bit, kind of in the corner, really. There's not much the Fed can do when this collapse hits this time around. Now, they're saying that February this month, today is February the 23rd, so by the end of this month will be pretty much your last chance of getting into gold, silver. This collapse can happen at any time. So basically what they're saying is the end of February, it will be remarkable. It will be, you can still get it, but you have to be very quick because things are happening very fast. And they've got the 7-year cycle, and then they also have the 21-year cycle. I'll just drop a name, and if you guys don't believe me, please go and do a bit of research. This guy named Bob Palmy, Bopolny, Palmy. Bob Palmy, Gold 2020 forecast. He's got a lot of charts and a lot of what should I say? He's got a lot of certainty, in what he's saying. There's a lot of things that he's been saying that it's actually been happening, And so this time around, he's saying that the collapse must happen. It will happen. There's no way. There's nothing the Fed can do to stop. There's nothing anyone can do to stop. And we're looking at time around October. Now, some event will happen before that. Some big event will happen, I don't know, anytime from now till the 3rd of October. The 3rd of October will be the reaction from then on, what they're going to do. So I reckon it'll probably be more printing, but the Fed is sort of shoot himself in the foot as well, because if they do the printing, then the dollar goes. The dollar loses, people lose confidence on the dollar, so people won't be buying the bonds, won't be buying or using much of the dollar. People will be running into gold and silver. And the Fed is kind of, if they want to save the dollar, because the dollar is the main source here, if the dollar goes, the whole thing goes. So they're going to try to keep people confident on the dollar. Don't worry about the bonds, because as long as people have confidence on the dollar, they can print more bonds anyway. They can print, more bonds. That's not a problem. The problem is if people lose confidence on the dollar. And in my opinion, something will happen this year. I've got other advisors that I follow. I follow Jim Rogers. I follow Mark Faber. I follow Robert Kiyosaki. I follow quite a number of advisors, and it's quite funny because all of them are saying the same thing. All of them are saying that this year there's no way the economy can go past. We have to start from the beginning. We have to rearrange. We have to start from scratch again. Gold has to be money again, and the whole economy has to be completely started from the beginning because it's so much debt that there's no way they can go past this. Now, Robert Kiyosaki focused in a few points like the baby boomers will be retiring. 75 million baby boomers will be retiring sometime around this year, and they are going to be pulling their money out of the stock market, and that's going to be a reaction for the crash. They can be, I think the Fed can sort of manipulate that because all they can do is just keep printing more money, and they don't have to tell you about it. So if they pulling 75 million people are pulling their money out of the stock market, the Fed is just going to be dumping more fake paper and money, and anyway, they're just going to be printing, But also, he talks a little bit in its cycle, how the cycle works, why must it happen. But Bob Palmy is more specific on the cycle. He basically saying that he follows this cycle from more than 250 years ago. And so there's a cycle of 250 years ago, there's a cycle of 7, there's a cycle of 21st. And it's pretty much saying that this cycle is the Jubilee cycle, is the Shemitah, which was supposed to happen last year, sometime in September. But Bob Palmy was already saying that it wouldn't happen on September 2015. He was forecasting to be this year. And then he did say it was going to be a lot of volatility around July last year and December last year, and which actually happened. It's been volatility for in December. It's been a volatility for 7 days, pretty much. It's just that all the markets around the world was going down. There's no markets making anything. People were starting to get really, really scared, and still are. And we did have some sort of a bump as well in July when China had the collapse, the stocks collapse. They closed the stock market, and they've been closing the stock market for quite a number of days now. The stock market opens, and 15 minutes later, there's a crash, or there's a big stock market crash there. And what they do, they just close, unofficially close stock market. So Bob Palmy has been saying that this was going to happen a lot more and more and more. So what he's saying now is that February, this month, it's pretty much the end of the dollar run and all that stuff. From now on, from February to October, it will be going down. And it shows charts, and where the breaking point is, and the higher low and the lower low, and he explains, in detail why it would not be going any higher. From 2008 to 2016, he showed a chart that actually the printing money and all this recovery, all this QE, didn't actually go past the breaking point. There's a breaking point that's supposed to go past. It didn't go past, so that just gives you a lead that the market cannot go any higher. It has to crash. Everything has to start from the beginning, and we all have to move on. Now, this is their opinion. I'll look into it. I'll analyze. I'm not telling you to go and invest in what they're saying. All I'm saying is look into it. That's what my channel calls time to invest. So it could be your time to invest. It could not be your time to invest. It all comes down to your education. It comes down to your preparation, and it comes down to your, what you want to do and when you want to do it with investing. Now, I'm just going to tell you really quickly, what does that mean for you and me? What does that mean if you're working, if you've got a safe, secure job, if you're working 5 days a week, let's say you're working for the government, you're working 5 days a week, you're a full-time employee, and you get your pay every fortnight. So, and let's say, you've got your mortgage, but you haven't invested anything. You believe that, no, this is all bogus, and I'm not going to worry about it. People just, feeding you a lot of bullshit, and they just want you to spend their money, and da 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 da. So, if you don't do anything, and you are working, decent person, paying your taxes, and doing the right thing, and let's say the crash happens, which you don't believe will happen, but let's say it happens. Let's say that they were right, and eventually the stock market collapsed, the dollar collapsed, and no one, know what to do, and the Fed start printing money. If that happened, you will have to get up, and to go to work, you need your car. Let's say it happened overnight. So you get up and you get in your car on your way to work. You probably notice everything is closed. The petrol stations probably closed. Probably will have a sign saying cash only, because the credit card, the banks, the ATMs will be completely shut down. It will not be working. And if you need to put petrol to go to work, you need to have cash. And because you didn't believe in any of this, so you don't have any cash. So you can't get any money out. You can't ask anyone for money. No one's going to give you money. So you can't really go to work without petrol. You can't put petrol in. So you come home and you probably turn your TV on, and then you find out that we had a market crash, in the United States or Greece or Europe, or some event, something did happen, and the Fed is reacting in printing money. So everybody, please calm down. Don't panic. Don't panic. We taking care of it. That's what the Fed will be saying. We will be looking after you. Do not worry about it. But then you can't go to work. And not just you, thousands of people around you, around your area, can't go to work either, because they're in the same situation. They were believing that everything is fine and nothing's going to happen. So you can't go to work. So the banks can go to a bank holiday. They can go for 7 days to a couple of months, depending on how things are going, But let's say they close for 2 weeks. So for 2 weeks, you cannot work. You cannot earn any money. You cannot take any money out. You have no food at home. You cannot buy anything in the shopping center because you've got no cash. ATMs are still not working. So it's completely a chaos. So you've got no water. You can't take your kids to school. You can't go to work. Your missus can't work. And the banks are closed. Some of the shops are open, but they're all cash only. So you have no cash. So you will have to maybe call if the mobile phone is working, because I believe the internet might be shut down as well. You can maybe try to associate with your relatives who lives on the bush, lives on a farm, and your main priority is try to get enough petrol to get there. So you can at least, have something to eat, and let's hope you don't stop in, somewhere. If you can get there, you have something to eat, for a week to 2 weeks. This is what we call crisis. That's what we call crisis. It's something that happened unexpected, and it affects, thousands of people around us, right? That's what a crisis is, That's not, it's a big crisis. So it doesn't have to be a big flooding or a fire or war. This is a crisis. So if the banks close down, you cannot move, you cannot go anywhere, you completely, not naked. So you can't eat, you can't do anything. You're starving, your kids are starving, family's starving, you work. And let's say in 2 weeks they print the money, or they went into reform and they brought some new currency. Your money, the money you had in the bank, will be worth nothing. The dollar that you're saving in the bank will be devaluated. So gold and silver will come to play because people have lost confidence on the paper because they're printing too much paper. They're printing more paper. So people will go, hang on, why do I want so much paper when I work for $20 an hour and you're printing, $1,000 in a second? So this $1,000 doesn't buy me anything. Why am I even working? So I don't want that. I want gold, I want silver, I want jewelry, I want things that actually have value that I have to go and look for it. That it's not print. It's not manipulated by somebody else. It's actually a real value. So which is gold and silver. So eventually you wake up and you realize, okay, oh my God, what do I have to do now? Everything they've been saying is true. What can I do now? So the bank will be revalued, the government will be revalued, will be bringing a new currency, and more likely the new currency will be backed by gold and silver because they don't have enough gold and silver to be spread it around and sell it to people, and people cannot find it that quick, so they can do transactions, buy bread and I'll give you an ounce of gold, or I'll buy a car and I'll give you an ounce of silver or gold. You cannot do that so fast. So what the government will do, they will be coming up with a new currency, and they will have like agreement worldwide. More likely that's what China is doing. China, Russia, India. That's why they're buying gold so fast, accumulating tons and tons of gold, for that kind of emergency. But the currency will be backed by gold. So that means is they will bring a new currency, they'll print a new currency. Now we have the dollar. They could call the Aussie dollar, they could call anything, but it will be backed by gold. You can only print, let's say if you've got 1 ounce of gold, 1 ounce of gold is now worth 1,600, 1,700. So you can only print 1,700 of that dollar, of that known dollar. Right? The bank has to have that 1 ounce of gold in order to give you that cash. They have to have that 1 ounce of gold. That what means is backed by gold. They cannot just borrow you the money without having the ounce of gold. So you will be absolutely homeless. You'll have nothing. Your house will go down in value, and a lot of people will be in the same boat as you. How much is a 3-bedroom home in Australia? Anywhere in Australia, it's around $500,000. So $500,000, you working, let's say, you working 9 to 5, mechanic, somewhere, and your wife works somewhere in retail, and you bringing home $4,000 a month. Your rent is $2,000 a month, but after the collapse, your rent might be $5,000 a month. Because so much paper that you have is not worth anything anymore because the government print too money now. So you're working for $4,000, you and your wife for $4,000, and your mortgage is $5,000. So you cannot pay your mortgage. So because you cannot pay your mortgage, the bank will give you 3 months, approximately 3 months, so you can go and find money to pay for your mortgage. If you cannot find in 3 months, they're going to repossess your home. They call foreclosure. They will take your home off you. They'll kick you out of the house. They'll take the keys. They'll kick everything out, your furniture, everything out, and they will sell your house. Because under the bank's agreement, you buy the loan, but it's only yours when you fully pay. It's never yours until you finish paying for it. So it's not your asset, it's the bank's asset. So the house, people think it's asset. It's not your asset, it's the bank's asset. So if they don't get the money, they kick you out and they sell it to somebody else. Now, if they sell it at lost or not, doesn't matter. At that time, they probably will sell it at loss, but at least they're not losing anything. They're just getting the money for the house. That's what happened in the United States. The houses, went down in value. People could not keep the repayment of the house, and the banks had taken the house, and they had heaps of companies, removing companies. People make a lot of money with those removing companies. They open, they legalize. What basically they do, they like bellies. They go over to your house, you big people, big guys, and they kick you out, they kick your family out if you refuse to leave, because you could be still living in there and not paying anything. But once your day comes, they'll come in there, they'll kick you out, and they change the locks, they lock everything, and you're in the streets. Now, does the government care? Well, no, the government don't care. What the government do care is that if you can pay for the house, they might let you stay there if you can pay a little bit for the house, right? If you cannot pay anything because you lost your job, either you can't get to the job or the job doesn't only pay enough so you can pay for your mortgage. So what's the point of being on a job? If you can't pay for your mortgage, you're working, but you can't pay for your mortgage, what's the point of it? You can't go to your boss and say, hey, my house is, the money, this thing has changed now, and, I can't, what you pay me is not enough, can you pay me more? No, they're not going to pay you more. They're going to just laugh at you. This is up to you to do the planning, to do the investing, to prepare, to do all that stuff. So that's why I'm trying to wake you guys up, anyone who's watching this video, listen, in the end of the day, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But if you're prepared, if you at least have some gold, some silver, some cash stashed somewhere, hidden somewhere, maybe even some food, you'll be okay, you'll be all right. You'll be all right for 2 weeks. You could be thinking, hang on, you know what? I didn't really believe much in what this guy was saying, but I decided to just put a bit money away. Maybe $1,000 cash somewhere, hidden somewhere, or don't leave it in the bank. Because the banks will be closed. There's no point. You can't get your money out. You need cash. So you can't have it in the bank. Don't have it in the house because people will know who you are and what you do. So you have to have it in some other places. I'll leave it up to you, to your ingenuity. You can go and find other places you can keep the money, keep it safe. Not under the mattress, will be a lot of robberies and a lot of stuff like that. You don't want to have that kind of stuff on your home. But you have to have it somewhere, I'm sure you can find a place to hide, put it somewhere. But you'll be safe with it, because if that really happens, you can look back and say, hang on, I didn't really believe it could happen, but I decided to put some money away. I decided to put some gold and silver away, so I can actually wait, and the gold and silver will be, because of the devaluation, that's what the big investors are calling a wealth transfer, because they print a lot of money, and the power and the purchase of the money buys you less and less. So you can have $10,000, but what you buy with $10,000, you can't even buy a car. You barely pay for your mortgage, maybe a bit of food for 2 weeks, and that's it. It's finished. Done. It's gone. $10,000 in 2 weeks. You can't buy it. So it loses the purchase, the power of purchase. It loses that because it's too much of printing of it. Too many people have the $10,000. So you could walk to a shop, and the old shop could be worth, I don't know, the old shop could be worth, small little milk bar could be worth, I don't know, 200,000. So if 10 people or 20 people walk in there and they want to buy everything, they could easily buy everything, So milk and products have to go up in value. So it won't be no longer 200,000. It'll be $1 million. It'll be a lot more, because otherwise they lose money as well. There's no point of being in business, really. So very, very brief. So what you have to do, you have to prepare yourself. You have to have gold and silver. You have to have money stashed somewhere, cash, and you have to be tuned up. So you have to know what's happening, watch the news, and even the YouTube. The YouTube, they're more detailed on YouTube. And if you look into different channels like the investing channels, more like Robert Kiyosaki and the 2020 Gold 2020 forecast, Bob Palmy and Jim Rogers and Mark Faber, and they all telling you what's happening. They all telling you that this economy cannot grow anymore, and we have to do something about it. And they move, hundreds of millions of dollars a day, and they have hundreds of clients. They move more money per day. So if they're saying that's more likely to happen, I believe that's more likely to happen. I have people that don't believe in it, or people are living in illusion. They don't want to believe in it. They believe that the houses always go up, the houses never goes down. Well, when you start to look into it now, things are changing. The music is changing now. So the government in Australia is looking to change this negative gearing at the moment. So that's something they never looked into it. So what is the negative gearing? So you buy a house and you make sure you're going to lose money, and then you buy another house and then you earn less. You have to earn less, 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 and then you keep buying those houses, and then in the end of the tax return, you offset them on tax and they stay there in the house because you've lost money in the house. I mean, you don't have to be a genius, to go out there and find a house that you lose money. I mean, anyone can go and buy a house which is $500,000 or more with 3-bedroom home, and lose money. That's not hard, that's simple. But the problem with that is that keeps you at work. You cannot achieve your freedom because you have to keep working to earn, a certain amount of money, right? And then to offset on your houses. So you, instead of working hard to be free, you are working hard to be in more debts, and you never be free. And when you do sell all those houses, right, and you still in debt, you always have to still in debt to keep the investment going, because that's what the scheme is. Which a positive gearing is much better. You investing in houses, but you put a big chunk of your money or your deposit or, on the house, and you can rent the house, and what the tenant is paying you for the house, because you put, a good amount of deposit in the house, it will be a positive gearing. So basically, you could be earning $500 a month from 3-bedroom investment home, because it's paid by your tenant. By the time they pay all the costs and everything, you offset $500 more. So if you have a couple of houses like that, I mean, you could be literally in about $5,000, $10,000 a month, right? And you don't even have to work, because the tenants is paying, the houses is paying themselves, right? And you're all right. I mean, you can then pursue the dreams of your life. You can do whatever you want to do. You can plan and do whatever you want to do. Take your kids to a private school, do whatever you want to do. Because, you're free. You don't have to get up and go to work every day for 30 years of your life and wait till you're 64 or 65 years of age to retire. If you can get it in retirement that time, because I think by that time everything will be gone. Yeah. And, so that's what the scheme is. So the whole idea was to keep investors buying, to keep people buying houses, but they've realized that this is not working anymore. And the new kids, the kids are from this generation, they cannot afford, they don't have any savings, and they cannot afford to go out there and buy a $500,000 house with $50,000 deposit. More likely, their mom and dad have to put a deposit on, but they want to retire and go and live their lives as well. They don't want to have to work another, 5 to 10 years because they had to chuck, $100K or $50K to so their son or their daughter can buy a house. I mean, they can see that this kind of scheme is not longer working anymore. And people with really big money are making a killing, because after you have like 5 to 6 houses, you don't really have to pay much on taxes anymore. That's how negative thing works, yeah? But you have to have a lot of money, right? So for the small person like you and me, I mean, you just like locked into work for the rest of your life. Really, you can go out there and tell everyone, "Oh, I've got 5 houses." Yeah, but you're working more than everybody else, and you cannot afford a day off. You cannot go sick. If your missus have a baby, and needs, maternity leave, she cannot afford to do that because you need her income and your income to come in every day, every week, So it's absolutely, I don't know, it's a waste of time. I wouldn't do it, but they're looking into change that now, and that's going to affect a lot of investors, a lot of people that heavily invest in houses. It's going to make a difference in their lives. And I feel sorry for them, but you know what? It's not their broker's fault. It's their fault. They should be looking into it. They should be analyzing before they get into something. They should be going out there, investigate it, see how it works. Get somebody that is absolutely done it and is absolutely happy with it, and see if their life can model your life before you do it. If you like their lifestyle, you're working every day, you're working 20 hours, you're working 50, you're working 80 hours a week, and you're happy because you got 5 houses, but you can never stop working. If you like that kind of house, if you like that kind of lifestyle, by any means, do it. If you don't like that kind of lifestyle, you do want to have, you have to work smart, you do want to have the houses, and you want to play smart, it's all up to you. It's all the way you want to do it. It's all up to you. I'm not going to be much longer with this video. I'm going to have to go in a minute. So I'll just leave you with those basic points. So it looks like we haven't this crash this year. Be prepared. Be ready. And prepare yourself and your family. Okay? I wish you all the best. And you will see more videos about this from me. Ciao, ciao. See ya.